What makes a cell? You can see the cell is made of many organelles that function together. As you can see, the cell is not a simple hollow sac. It is made of many little organs called organelles. Each organelle has a specific function and a defined structure. In this section, you will learn to identify the nucleus, mitochondria, cell membrane, sometimes known as a plasma membrane, chloroplast, and cell wall. Along with being able to identify each of the listed organelles, you will and should be able to describe their functions within the cell. I'll typo there. The nucleus. The nucleus is an organelle enclosed in a membrane that contains the DNA. DNA is a molecule that stores the information needed to run the cell. Since the nucleus contains the instruction for running the cell, it can be thought of as a control center for the cell. Both plant and animal cells have a nucleus. Cells that have a nucleus are called eukaryotic cells. The nucleus is located here, and it's made up of several parts in itself. You just need to be able to identify the nucleus. Mitochondria. Mitochondria are organelles in both plant and animal cells that are responsible for generating usable energy from glucose. Because they are able to convert glucose to usable energy, a typo there as well, mitochondria have been called the powerhouse of the cell. What is important for you to know is that both plants and animal cells contain mitochondria and they generate usable energy for the cell. And actually, this could be extended to bacteria, fungi, protists. All cells have mitochondria. Notice mitochondria's structure, and its function is to generate usable energy from glucose. Chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are organelles found only in organisms who perform photosynthesis. Chloroplasts are not found in animal or fungi cells. Chloroplasts contain a green pigment called chlorophyll that absorbs many wavelengths of light to produce glucose through photosynthesis. Organisms like plants that use chloroplasts to make their own food are called autotrophs, which literally means self-nourishing. Animals and fungi cells do not contain chloroplasts. Notice there's chloroplasts. I always think they look like green sacks with little green coins stacked on top of each other. That's a chloroplast, and that is a chloroplast. Question. You're observing a cell through a microscope. You notice that the cell doesn't seem to contain chloroplasts. What does this tell you about the cell? Well, that tells us it's definitely not a plant cell. Cell membrane. The cell membrane, sometimes called the plasma membrane, is a protective layer that separates the internal environment of the cell from the external environment. The cell membrane is found in both plants and animal cells, along with bacteria and fungi. The cell membrane functions like a city wall with gates. It allows waste to exit, nutrients to enter, and keeps out unwanted material. Locate the cell membrane in Figure 2 and Figure 3. This is Figure 3. We have the cell membrane on the outside here. It's known as it's called the plasma membrane here. And in this image, we see it should be that yellow layer. There it is, the cell membrane right there. The cell wall is a rigid structural layer found outside the cell membrane in plants, fungi, and bacteria cells. Animal cells do not contain a cell wall. It's important for you to know that animal cells don't have a cell wall. Their outer layer is flexible. Locate the cell wall in Figure 4. You see the cell wall is the outer layer here. In summary, cells are made of many organelles with specific functions. The nucleus contains DNA and controls the operations of the cell. Mitochondria produce usable energy for all cells. Chloroplasts convert light energy into food in plant cells, but not animal cells. The cell membrane is a flexible protective layer around all cells. And the cell wall is a rigid layer outside the cell membrane found in plants, fungi, and bacteria cells, but not animal cells. Thanks for listening. Pardon the typos. It's a work in progress.